So we'll begin our session for today. So wherever you are, just sit comfortably. Keep your back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, very gently close your eyes. Just start watching your breath. Watch the natural flow of your breathing as you inhale and as you exhale. Start disconnecting from all the external disturbances or factors and bring your attention to your pure breath. Now gently shift your attention to your body. Become aware of your posture. Check your alignment and see if you need to make any adjustments. Gently come back to your breath. And now begin to consciously deepen the breathing, going into the practice of Puraka and Rechaka. We will open today's session by chanting Om 3 times, followed by the Guru mantra. So if you know the mantra, you can chant it along, or else you can just listen to the mantra. Take a deep breath in for Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Take a deep breath in for Om. Om. Feel the vibrations. Join both your palms together and begin to rub both your palms. Place them on your eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, begin to open up your eyes, coming back with a big smile on your face. Om Shanti and Namaste. Let us begin our session for today. So in yesterday's class, we had just understood the meaning of what pranayama is, and we were talking about the koshas or the sheaths, and we had covered the first 3 sheaths, which were your Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh and Manomaya Kosh, and I had told you how you experience these koshas, right? So for Pranamaya Kosh, for example, sometimes you are on very high energy, sometimes you are on low energy, right? So when we are talking, we are high on energy, right? We have a lot of energy inside of us, or we are feeling very low, we don't feel very energetic, right? So that is your Pranamaya Kosh, right? And then your mind, the thoughts, these come as a part of your Manomaya Kosh. And finally we have come down to the last 2 koshas. So you can draw another circle inside the first 3 circles, and you can label it as Vijnanamaya Kosha. So the spelling for Vijnanamaya Kosha is V-Y-J-N-A-N-A. M-A-Y-A Vijnanamaya Kosha, K-O-S-H-A. So this is, in bracket you can write down, this is your intellectual body, right? So the mind, it is connected to the external world, and it is taking all of the information to the internal world. And then there is this portion within us which gives a judgment on something, and that is the intellect. The intellect will tell you if this is right or this is wrong, right? And this is like that deep inner voice that you find so hard to connect with as well, right? So this is the voice which is really, the right decision for you, or maybe what you want to do, the right choice for you. So Vijnanamaya Kosha is the intellectual layer, and as you can see, it is pretty subtle, it is pretty deep. So when you are going to take certain decisions in your life, then how you want to just clear your mind, you want to be a little bit like in a calm place, and then you want to decide, or if it's something very crucial, you want that space, that time to make a call, right, on something. So it is because this is very, very subtle. Again, it shows up in a very subtle manner. So Vijnanamaya Kosha is again very hard to get a tap of, but through yogic practices, through the constant cleansing, you will reach to a stage where you are able to connect with this thing, right? So this is your 4th sheath, and then the 5th sheath, so you can draw a very small circle inside all the previous 4 circles and label it as Anandamaya Kosha, A-N-A-N-D-A-M-A-Y-A. Okay, Anandamaya Kosha, K-O-S-H-A. So I'll spell this one more, Anandamaya Kosha, A-N-A-N-D-A-M-A-Y-A. Okay, Anandamaya Kosha. So in bracket you can write down the English translation, which is the bliss body. So the term Anand literally translates to bliss only, right? So this is your bliss body, and this bliss body, you get a glimpse of it when you go into deep sleep, right? So if you know a little bit about sleep, you will know this thing, that sleep its quality is judged on the basis of how long you have been in deep sleep, right? So in deep sleep, you get the appropriate and the right amount of rest that you need, right? So this is one state that we experience when we are in our deep sleep, and hence it's and when you have a good deep sleep and you wake up, right, so you feel very fresh and you feel very light and you feel very blissful. You can only, the term bliss only comes to my mind when I have described that. So sometimes your sleep will be very blissful, right? So means you have stayed in this state, in the state of deep sleep for the apt amount of time. And this when you are in contact with this sheath, you are very blissful. Hence when you wake up, you carry forward that feeling with you, right? So this state is actually very close to the actual nature of who we are, okay? And that is why it is called the bliss or Vijnanamaya Kosha, because it is the layer which is the closest, right? And in between you can write down, it's your individual consciousness, you can say this thing. If you believe in the concept of soul, you can write that down. So after you pass all of these layers, there is this energy which is giving you life, right? So also called the soul, if you believe in it, right? So the soul has certain pure qualities, and the closer a sheath is to this pure energy, the more of it captures and radiates, right? So you can see, like our physical body, it is the farthest away, so we are not really in touch with that energy, right? When we experience the physical body, then Pranamaya Kosha is little bit more close, right? So some more aspects show up. Then Manomaya Kosha is closer, Vijnanamaya Kosha is again very close, and Anandamaya Kosha imbibes most of the qualities, right, of who we really are, right? So through the cleansing, we reach this stage where we harmonize everything. So yoga is all about harmonizing. So we cleanse all the sheaths, right? And as we do that, we create harmony and balance between the sheaths. We experience the final state of yoga, right? So in pranayama classes, again we are working on the Pranamaya Kosha, the cleansing, the proper functioning of the Pranamaya Kosha is our target in these classes, right? So like the concept of the 5 sheaths, this is very important when you are doing the pranayama practices. You should have knowledge of this. There is another very interesting concept which you should know about since you are doing the pranayama practices, and that concept is called the concept of Panch Prana, okay? Panch, again like Panch in Panch Kosha, Pancha, Panch, and then we have Prana, like in pranayama, Prana, Panch Prana. So going literally with the meaning, 5 pranas, right? So Panch is 5, okay? So even though I said yesterday that everything has prana in it, so that prana is the overall energy that is existing. But depending on which body part is which body function is supported, right? The prana, overall prana is further subdivided into certain pranas only, right? So it's called the concept of Panch Vayu also, Vayu. So prana is divided in these 5 subdivisions depending on which area of the body it is prominent in, right? So we need to know about this. Why? Because sometimes there are certain issues that show up on the body, and through the practices of pranayama, like through the understanding of the 5 pranas, we can opt for those pranayama practices which work heavily on the functioning of that prana, that specific prana, right? So first prana or first vayu that we talk of is actually called prana only, okay? So don't get confused too much, right? First one is called prana only, Prana. And this subdivision, right, it is governing the area below your larynx and above your diaphragm, okay? So this entire area, this is governed by a subdivision called prana only, right? So prana is the force which is associated with the intake of things, all right? So when you inhale, there is a force which is pulling in the air into the body, right? So that force is actually the force of prana because it has this quality of intake, right? So it is dominant in this region of the body, right? So your lungs, your heart, it is functioning properly because your prana is balanced. And for those people who face issues related to the respiratory system, right, those people need to work on like balancing out the prana in their body, right? Now when we move to the exact opposite of prana, it is called apan, A-P-A-N-A, apan, right? So apan is the expulsive force. So because it is the exact opposite of pran, pran is helping us to acquire and apan is helping us to expel, right? So when you go for the action of exhalation, right, that is what the apan vayu is dominating that thing, right? So outward movement, so which is actually located in the region below your navel and till your pelvic floor, okay? So your large intestine, your kidneys, your genitals, anus, these are covered under the apan vayu, okay? So it has the expulsive nature, right? So all the toxins, they get released from the lower body only, right? So this is the area of the presence of apan and it is helping you to get rid of the toxins, right? Then there is a space that is between the area of pran and apan, right? And that area is basically below the diaphragm and above your navel region or till your navel region, if we say, right? So this entire space in between, this space, the energy governing this space is called saman vayu, S-A-M-A-N-A, saman vayu, right, V-A-Y-U. So saman vayu is basically just existing between these two opposite forces, right? And this is the most important out of all when it comes to even yogic practices. Why? Because this is, you know, in yoga, in Ayurveda also, you know, digestion is considered to be the main thing, right? Even in yoga, the digestion, the this breakdown of food, it is considered to be very, very essential. And the saman vayu is managing this thing. So if somebody is having issues related to the stomach, right, any kind of suppose acidity or you can say indigestion, these kinds of issues, they are showing because there is an imbalance in the saman vayu, right? So saman vayu is covering the functioning of your stomach, liver, pancreas, your small intestine. So you can see all the breakdown of the food, everything is taking place in this area only. So if somebody has issues of stomach, then you work on the practices which will increase the Saman Vayu for that person. Alright. Now the remaining of the body, the last two Vayus they cover, right? So the next one, which is very important for us, is called Udaan Vayu, U-D-A-N-A, Udaan Vayu, V-A-Y-U. Okay, so Udaan is present in the area above the larynx till your head, and then all four of your limbs, their coordination, their proper movement, that is actually governed by the presence of Udaan Vayu, right? So your entire face is getting covered. So eyesight, if somebody is having eyesight issues, somebody is having any kind of hearing issue, right, means that you have to work on pranayama practices which are going to work on increasing the Udaan Vayu, right? So the eye blinking, all of this is happening because of the presence of Udaan Vayu, right? So my limbs, they are quite coordinated when I'm teaching. If my hands are moving in a certain way, there is coordination, right? So similarly goes with my legs, right? So Udaan is present in these regions. So if somebody is having these kinds of issues, means that their Udaan is getting imbalanced for some or the other reason. So you will have to work on that energy, right? And then overall in the body, there is the presence of the last Vayu, which is called the Vyan Vayu, V-Y-A-N-A, Vyan Vayu. Okay, so Vyan is present throughout your body. So this energy is basically like, if you look at functions like circulation, right? So blood is getting circulated throughout your body. So there is something which is driving that circulation, and that is actually your Vyan Vayu. And then if you look at all the other pranas, so they are present in different body parts. So sometimes what happens, there is a lack. Okay, so Vyan, the fifth Vayu, it is acting as a reserve for all the other Vayus, right, or all the other pranas that are present in the body. So suppose my Saman Vayu, it is depleting. So first reaction of the body will not be that it is depleting immediately, I will start showing symptoms. First, the storehouse energy will come in and give that Vayu a push, right? So Vyan will come in and Vyan will provide support, right? But then again, if it's not sufficient or if it is continuing for a long time, so like storehouses, they also, if there is too much demand, that also gets, runs out basically. So in that same way, Vyan is a storehouse only. So it depends on how long that lack is being supported by Vyan, but eventually even that might run out, right? So then you see more severe symptoms of diseases on the body, right? So these are your 5 Vayus, and depending on which one is lacking or which function which one is supporting, you can work on a more subtle level, right? So yoga believes that disease is coming from deep within, rather than just the whatever comes on your body, it's just a symptom of something very deep going on, like on a subtle level, right? So yoga believes in this thing, means that when you work on the cleansing on a deep level, so these physical symptoms, they also begin to go away, right? So when you do pranayama, like, you will be able to cure a lot of things which generally other things are unable to cure. Why? Because the disease is coming from a deeper level. It might even be present at a more deeper level, right? So when you do other practices of yoga which are targeted at the other layers or the other sheaths, then you begin to eradicate the problem from the root rather than just cure the symptoms that are showing up on your body, right? So allopathy is doing what? It's curing the symptoms that are showing up, right? And I am not, by this I am not saying don't take allopathy, please take allopathy, okay? It is essential. But as you begin to do yoga, you integrate a more holistic and long-term cure to the already existing treatment. So maybe you are taking allopathy, earlier you required say 2 tablets. Now because of the holistic approach that you have taken up, you might just need 1, right? So slowly you can begin to reduce that thing as well. It's not a this or that situation. You can integrate more than 2 approaches as long as it helps you to, heal your body, right? So we are going to directly jump into today's practice, okay? And I hope you didn't miss anything. If you did, just let me know, or you can type it in the chat box also.
No, I missed nothing, but I have a question. For example, an issue in the middle of the back area, for example, the muscle system in this area, which vayu is there connected to Udaan or Vyan? Is there a necessary has to increase more? Is it about the area? Of course, it's holistic, and the 5 vayus are important. But is there a special vayu for this area? For example, I think it's Udaan, but maybe it's Vyan. I'm not sure.
So you are talking about the thoracic region, like the...
Yes.
Okay, so this here we have Pran. Okay, Pran is present over here. So in this entire region, so
in the more lower, or maybe more down, or in the middle of this area, I think, at the rib cage.
Yes, so rib cage is Pran only. This entire area is Pran only. If you move a little bit lower in about this area, right, so that is Saman. So if, like, I am showing you from front, but it is prevalent, like, right, throughout, like, it's not a 2D kind of thing, it's a 3D, right? So it's present, it's governing all the functioning till the back in this area. So if this is the region you are talking about, thoracic region, basically the chest, the rib cage, then it is the Pran which has gotten some imbalance, right? And you need to work on the Pran. And Vyan will mostly show up as, because Vyan is present throughout the body, right? So it will show up in more like situations where the entire body gets impacted, right? That is higher, that has higher probability. But if it's a very specific region, then you will have a very specific vayu for that region. So thoracic, if you are saying, it is Pran, but if you want to go a little bit lower, right, so in around this area, so I think you will reach till the lumbar, right? So this area is Saman. If this is the area where the problem is coming, Saman, and if you're going towards the lower back lumbar region, so that will be your Apan. Saman and Apan somewhere colliding, right? So part of the, it depends on which lumbar region also, like L1, L2. So depending on that, the vayu might change a little bit. So yeah, I mean, just see which lumbar, like, which spine, like, which is the number. So you'll be able to get a greater idea.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay, then I get it. Thank you.
Right. All the pranayama practices, in fact, will overall help you to balance out the functioning of all the vayus. Just some of them target a specific vayu more, some target the other one more. Right.
Okay.
Great. Awesome. So let's begin with today's practice then. today's practice is about just becoming aware of your respiration, right? And this practice is actually a pre-practice for pranayama. So I will take 1 or 2 minutes talking about the pre-practices of pranayama. Pre-practices are the foundations of pranayama practices, right? So the better you get at the pre-practices, the better you will be able to do pranayams. So most people, they run after pranayama practices, they want to do pranayama, but they are not ready, they have not corrected their breathing pattern, they have not corrected their posture, and hence when they do pranayama, it sometimes doesn't work for them, right? So if you keep your eye focused on the pranayama practices, you will get faster results from your pranayama as well, right? So I would say that keep all of your focus and attention on the pre-practices only, because as beginners it is very important that you breathe properly. So today's practice, like for the upcoming few classes also, we are going to only do certain pre-practices, okay? So those pre-practices are going to be the most essential for you. So if every day you are taking out time for pranayama, just make sure you first take out some time for the pre-practice. You cannot directly sit for pranayama, right? So today's practice is called natural breathing. You are just connecting with the breath in this practice. You are just connecting with how the breath is moving inside your body, where it is going. You are trying to keep your attention on that. And when you are exhaling, how the reverse process is happening, right? So you can do this while sitting or while lying down. So there are only few practices that you can do while lying down. So if you want to take that kind of time for yourself, I would recommend that you take Shavasana and do these practices, okay? So in natural breathing, we just follow our breath, like I said, and initially we follow the natural breath, and eventually we begin to deepen this breath, because as you begin to follow the breathing, you also begin to gain a little bit control over it, and as a result of that, you will see that by the end of the practice, you have deepened your breath a lot, alright? So we are just going to, like I said, follow. So as it enters the nostril, just feel how the breath is going in, and then you follow it down the throat, like the back of the mouth, then down the throat, and then as a consequence of the breath coming in, what do you feel? You feel the ribcage expand, the lungs also expand, and once you complete the inhalation, the lungs have expanded to their maximum capacity, right? Now there is no holding in this technique. Once you inhale, you directly go into the process of exhalation. So when you begin to exhale the air, you feel the chest relax, ribcage move slightly in, and then you feel the breath move out of your throat, back of the mouth, and then out the nostrils, alright? So initially 1 or 2 breaths you can follow the natural breath, and then try to gain little bit control, alright? So I am not saying force yourself, right, to take longer breaths, but incorporate a little bit of control and try to deepen the breath, okay, throughout this practice. So this is a very simple and easy practice. There are no contraindications. Everybody can do this practice, and in fact you can even open your class with this practice so that your students are in that state of mind where they are more mindful of their practice, right? Again, it is very relaxing for the mind as well. So just make sure your awareness remains, because sometimes what happens, students tend to sleep also, right? So just maintain the awareness throughout the practice. And another thing that will happen when you will go for this practice is that you are unable to keep your mind as the breath is going in and as the breath is coming out. So you have to make a conscious effort to bring the mind again and again, back to this breathing process, right? So it's not as if your mind will immediately absorb itself into the practice. If it does, it is great. But if it doesn't, make the conscious effort, right, and bring it back to wherever you are in your breathing process. Okay, so are there any questions or doubts related to the technique?
No.
All right, great. So we'll just practice for the remaining of the time. So if you feel the need, you can lie down on your mat. You can, if you are choosing Shavasana, just keep both the legs slightly apart. Your feet will fall out in a very relaxed manner. Your entire spine should be straight, means that you will not tilt the neck. Your neck should be straight when you lie down, and hand should be comfortably away from the body so that your neck and shoulders can relax. And you can gently close your eyes. If you choose to sit, just make sure you are sitting comfortably. You don't have to change your posture many times. Whatever pose you have chosen, it should be that stable and comfortable for you. Back and neck will remain straight. And as you begin to, set yourself for the practice, gently close your eyes. Once you close your eyes, for now, just connect with the natural breath. No need to follow the breath for now. Just begin to change your focus point and bring it to the breathing. And as you begin to connect with your breath, you will see that already your mind is more relaxed and stable. Just take a mental note of the state of your mind before you begin your practice. And now, take a few moments. If you feel there is any kind of stress in the body, just release that stress, the tightening of those muscles. Just relax your entire body. Take your own time. And now we will begin to follow our breath. So after your next exhalation, with the inhalation, just start following the breath. As you inhale, feel the breath touch the nostrils and then go up and inside, moving down until you reach the back of your mouth, and then your throat region. Feel that breath move into the throat and feel the expansion in your chest. Try to open up your chest as much as possible and just take in the breath. And once you finish the inhalation, begin to exhale, relax the chest. Feel the air move out of your throat region, then the back of the mouth, and now out of both the nostrils. And then repeat this same process again and again. If right now you were unable to connect with the breath in some portions or parts of your body, just try to work on that with each consecutive round. Keep following the breath as it moves into your body and moves out of your body. Each and every time your mind wanders, very gently, with a lot of love, bring it back to the breathing and start following the breath again. Slowly begin to gain more control over your breathing. Now each inhalation and each exhalation is slightly more controlled. Try to keep both these processes equal. So if you are taking 3 seconds to inhale, make sure that you take 3 seconds to exhale. Try to expand your chest as much as possible without causing any undue strain. Just continue this process for a few more breaths. And after your next exhalation, slowly suspend your practice. Come back to the natural flow of your breath. observe the changes and the difference after a few rounds of natural breathing. Just let your entire body relax. We will go deeply into Shavasana, where the body and the mind both are relaxed. Leave the body loose and leave your mind loose. Now slowly and gently start becoming aware of your breath. As you inhale, feel your abdomen rise. As you exhale, contract your abdomen. As you inhale, feel the energy enter your body. And as you exhale, release any remaining stress from your body and your mind. Become aware of your body. Very slowly and gently move your fingers, move your toes. If you have taken Shavasana, you can join both the legs together and turn towards your left side. With the support of your right hand, you can lift your body up and come in any sitting posture. If you were already in a sitting posture, just make sure your back and neck are straight. See your breath and watch the state of your mind. See how it has changed after the practice of natural breathing. And now prepare yourselves for closing the session. With a straight back and neck, we will chant Om one time, followed by the Shanti mantra. So if you know the mantra, you can chant along with me, or else you can just listen to the mantra. Take a deep inhalation for Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Take a deep breath in for Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So observe your breathing. We will sit and observe the breath for some time. Watch the natural flow of your breath. Making no changes, no variation. Staying with the breath for as long as possible. Slowly join your hands in front of your chest and gently bow down. Rub the palms together. Place them on your eyes. We'll do this 2 more times. Rub your palms together. Place them on your eyes. One last time. Rub the palms together. Place them on your eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, open up the eyes, coming back with a big smile on your face. Om Shanti, Namaste. Any doubts, any queries, anything you want to share about your practice, any difficulties?
No, thank you.
All right. Great.
Interesting.
Yeah, very different practice. This one is very different from the other practices, right? So yeah, great. I'm glad you were able to do the practice, and tomorrow we will go into other pre-practices. So I will see you tomorrow. Be ready. We are going to explore pranayama in all its aspects, different aspects. So yeah, so take care, and I will see you tomorrow.